Well, good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining me this morning. This is episode 23 of the Sell More Printing webinar. This webinar is aimed at helping you grow your print business using today's best marketing tactics. I'm Rachel Neese. I am the marketing director here at Marketing Ideas for Printers. And let me be the first to tell you, or the only one to tell you, I guess, that I'm really glad that you took the time to join me this morning. Before we get started, I again want to make all of our newcomers aware of our resources section on our website. I'm just going to show you where that is. If you head over to mi4p.com or Marketing Ideas for Printers, you'll see marketing and then resources. This page is filled with a wealth of resources for you, including the complete lineup of previous episodes of this webinar series. We've covered a lot of great topics that you'll want to check out. You'll also see our top picks from our blog split up by category, things like websites, direct mail, general leadership, SEO, and you can sign up for the blog there as well. Down at the bottom, you'll see some downloadable resources. Those resources are there for you to use in any way that you see fit. You can use them just for general knowledge for yourself, or I like encouraging our printers to use them for their own gated content. For example, if you want to use it as a pop-up on your website, you can do that. Take those PDFs and use them however they would be helpful to you. I recently received some questions about customer reviews. So that's what we're going to look at today. Social proof, the power of online customer reviews and testimonials. While most of us know that reviews are important and use reviews in our own shopping. For example, I can't think of the last time I purchased something like on Amazon, for example, or from a Facebook ad I saw where I didn't first check out the customer reviews to see what other people were saying. In the case of Facebook ads, if the company was actually legit and worth it. So while many of us know that reviews are important and we use them, many small business owners don't actually know how to go about getting reviews and the best strategies for making them effective. So that's what we're going to unpack today. But first, when I use the term social proof, what exactly is social proof? Well, Wikipedia defines social proof as the reliance on the feedback and actions of others to determine what is right and what is wrong in a given situation. Now, as I was typing this and getting this ready and doing a little research, when I read that definition, I kind of had to chuckle to myself because I was just thinking of, when I was a kid or a teenager and my parents were like, if so-and-so jumped off a cliff or if so-and-so jumped off a bridge, would you do it too? Trying to get me to think for myself. Well, here, all these years later, right, all of us as buyers, we exactly want to know what these other people are doing. We want to know what other people are doing, what their actions are, to determine what is right and what is wrong in a buying situation. I hope we're not doing that in other situations in our life, but in a buying situation, this makes total sense. So social proof really has 6 main types, and I'm going to show you what those are. The first is experts. This is a type of social proof when an expert chimes in. For example, when a dermatologist recommends a skincare product or a dentist would recommend toothpaste. Another type of social proof is celebrity endorsements. Beyonce and Pepsi, she makes $50 million for that endorsement. Or Michael Jordan and Nike Air Jordan, the shoes and all the rest of that, $60 million a year. Michael Jordan is taken home on that one. Number 3 is users. This would be like your print buyer recommending your print company and service to another print buyer, getting social proof that way. Number 4, this is wisdom from the crowd. This would be like having a lot of social media followers or reviews, Google reviews, etc. Yelp, you'll see this A popular tactic would be YouTube, right? You have YouTube followers where these YouTube influencers are doing unboxing displays, and people can see, the product and that type of thing. This is that crowd mentality. The fifth type of social proof is wisdom from your friends. This is a little bit more intimate, thinking like word of mouth, that type of thing, where um, one friend is seeing another friend, for example, use your print products in their business, or they're following them on social media, that type of thing. And the last one is certification. This would be social proof through things like when your print shop is given a stamp of approval by an industry authority. So say like the National Print Owners Association or Print Industries of America. Perhaps you have an award or a badge or certification, that kind of thing, either in your business or on your website, but you're using that as social proof, like, hey, I know what I'm doing. I'm an expert in my field. So that's a good way as well to have that social proof. So since I am pretty sure that you don't have $60 million a year lying around to spend on celebrity endorsements, and if you do, please call me. But if you, more than likely you don't, we're going to focus on the ones that are a little bit more attainable. So we're going to talk through numbers 3 and 4 there about user reviews and kind of that wisdom from the crowd mentality. We're going to look at getting user feedback for testimonials and a solid plan for soliciting customer reviews that will be effective for you. So this may seem like work, and there is a fair amount of effort required, but reviews are absolutely worth it. Let's take a look at the numbers a little bit. First, there's the importance of reviews. 90% of consumers will read online reviews before visiting a business. Like I said, me included, right? Secondly is trust. Reviews will impact trust of a company. 72% of positive reviews help consumers trust a local business more. And it's really that trust that is essential. We've talked about this before, right? They need to like you, then know you, then trust you in order to place an order. Then lastly is action. 72% of consumers will take action only after reading a positive review. Consumers that stall out are not what you need, right? You need leads that will take action and follow through to order printing from you. So we know that reviews are important. We know that we want to get reviews, but how do you go about getting your customers or your print buyers to write glowing reviews for your print company? And many of you are probably thinking you don't even care so much about glowing reviews, but just decent reviews, right, would be helpful for your print company. So let's kind of dissect that a little bit. The first thing I would tell you is to identify the right time to ask. You want to ask for reviews at strategic moments within your print buyer's journey. It really is all about timing. Think of it this way. Have you ever asked your spouse to do something at the wrong time? You were excited about something and you plowed ahead with your request without really stopping to notice that they had had a horrible day or they were carrying a huge weight from that day. Well, the same mentality applies here. You want to make sure you catch those print buyers at the right time. Here are some things to look out for to kind of give you an idea about the right time to ask. The first is after they've had success with your product or service. That's a great time to reach out. Another one is repeat business. So they've been happy with you before and they've come back and they're ready to repurchase or reorder from you. That gives you a good indication that they would be a good print buyer to reach out to for a review. Another one is social media. So after they've liked your page or they've tagged you on social media, or even if they're a customer, they've ordered from you before, and you've noticed an uptick in how much they comment and respond on your social media, they would be a good customer to reach out to. Another one, website. Let's say they're spending a lot of time on your website, or you've seen them make multiple visits. You can do this through things like Google Analytics, or let's say you're using a solution like live chat just to monitor website activity and reach out to your customers. You can kind of keep an eye on things that way. Another one is referrals. So if you're running a referral program, or let's say you've got a loyalty program going on, well, whoever has been referred, I would make sure that you're asking them who was the person that referred you to our print company. And then you can reach out to that person that did do the referral and just say, you know, I really, really appreciate that you went out of your way to refer this customer. Would you be willing to take that one step further and leave a review for us? That does wonders for our business. So just kind of reaching out in that regard. The last one here is happiness. So after they express their happiness for your extra effort. So let's say that you stayed late to finish a project, or you completed a rush job to get them out of a pickle, or whatever you had to do that really was above and beyond. And then they followed up with you, let's say, with a thank you note. Well, that's a great indication where you could reach out to them and just express thanks for that. And then again, go the extra and say, would you be willing to leave a review for that? Okay, so first thing, identify the right time to ask. The second thing to remember is to choose the right collection method. You want to determine where you'll have the best luck in getting a response from your print buyers. If you're sending Google review links and all of your followers on social media, or vice versa, you're going to have an issue with people leaving a review. So keep in mind the right collection method. Here's a few ideas to keep in mind. The first one is asking, simply asking for reviews. It's important to train your team, prepare them to ask some set review questions after every successful print job or service. This doesn't have to be a formal interview, but this should be kind of a screening process, just one question, so that they can determine if, you know, this person would be a good one to interview further for a review. And maybe they can tag that customer in some way for the marketing department to follow up with them, or if you're the marketing department, for you to follow up with them. But train your team to keep an eye out for those potential customers that would make excellent reviews. Secondly, would be through email campaigns. You can ask for reviews as part of your email marketing campaigns. You can even do this as exclusive marketing campaigns. Let's say you ran a marketing campaign with the last, you know, customers that ordered printing in the last 6 months. It can simply be like a thank you email, you know, following up with them on their project, and then just saying, you know, would you be willing to take 30 seconds and fill out a review for us? And the main call to action within your email campaign could be to leave a review. So that's another option about choosing the right collection method. The last one here that I'll mention is the checkout process. So you could provide links after the checkout or on your thank you pages, or as an optional final step in your buying process. I'm going to just show you here an example from one of our subscribers, what they're doing. The main thing I want to say to you on this slide, or choosing the right collection method, is make sure that what you're doing is consistent and that you're doing it often enough. You know, just in my research and gathering this stuff, there were great numbers for reviews, but the numbers, the percentages of people that were actually giving reviews is much lower. It takes some effort and some prodding to get the buyers to actually leave reviews. So keep in mind, if it takes you a little while to gain momentum there. Okay, I'm going to show you this example here. So recently I ordered some postcards from Brandywine Printing. I put their logo up there to let you all know about the all new print MIS solution, Odyssey 2.0, coming in 2020. So there's a copy of just that particular postcard that we sent. So side note, and just kind of a shameless plug here, but there are some incredible pre-sale opportunities going on right now for Odyssey 2.0, including lowest prices guaranteed for life, first placement or top placement for implementation, so you are set up and ready to go upon product release. There's some just really huge, awesome early access opportunities that if you're interested, please reach out and contact us. You won't want to miss out on those. But anywho, back to what I was talking about. So here's the postcard I ordered from Brandywine. And then after I completed my order with Brandywine, I received this email. Brandywine collects their customer reviews after checkout through email. This is how they do it. Now, there are a number of reasons that this type of system works well. For one, I had just received the product. I was happy with it. I was ready to give my review. I think I might have gotten this email after I paid the invoice. I can't remember if it was after the invoice or after, yeah, right, I can't remember. Anyway, but the process here is quick and easy. It's not a wall of text. It's real short and sweet. They personalized the email subject, right? They asked a simple question. They made it really easy for me to want to review them. I'm going to keep going and show you what that process looked like. So if I click on the Review Us Now button, it takes me to this page. I get just a simple rating screen. This is quick and easy. When I saw this, I was like, oh, well, I could do this. This is not going to take me long, right? Once I select my star rating, then I'm taken here. This screen gives me the option as to where I want my review to go. Remember, we talked about choosing the right platform. This is great here that it gives me as the buyer an option to choose which platform I'm most comfortable on. Just because I was curious, I did a little research for Brandywine, and it looks like that most of their buyers are most comfortable leaving reviews on Google. So here you can see that Brandywine currently has 92 Google reviews, 5 stars. You know, that's awesome. Way to go, Brandywine. They're doing really well in that regard. However, I also want to mention to all of you listening not to get discouraged or hung up too much on the number of reviews. So let me just show you this. So this is the estimated number of online reviews customers read before trusting a business. So if you look there, there's a huge jump between a single review, 1, all the way up to 4 to 6. Okay, so if I'm even if I'm a consumer, I'm on Amazon, I'm looking at buying a product, I mean, I'm not going to read any more than 5 to 10 reviews unless, let's say, I'm spending a whole ton of money on something. You know, we just have short attention spans. We'll read enough to really build that trust, and then we'll move on. So don't get discouraged too much by the number of reviews you have. I would aim for between that 5 to 10 reviews as your first benchmark. And then, like anything, you'll start to get kind of a flywheel. You'll start gaining momentum. Getting reviews will become easier. You'll start collecting them. But, you know, don't set out to get 100 reviews. Start with 5 to 10 and just kind of keep working from there. So let me go back. I'm going to finish up that example from Brandywine. Remember, we were here on this page. So once I select the platform that I want to use, it brings me here to leave a more detailed review. So here I can expand more on my experience with Brandywine. I can actually write a longer review if I want to. I can add a photo if I want. this process or this system that you're seeing here from Brandywine is actually from a company called Review Dash. There are others out there, but this is a good example of how a service like this can help you increase your reviews. So all I did was click post, and there you have it. It's super slick. So if you're interested in adding something like this to your website, you can check out Review Dash or check out, a number of review services for what works best for you. But what if you're not collecting online reviews? What if that is not your goal? What if your goal is to collect just customer testimonials for your website, or you want to do a case study or do a feature about a specific product and you're looking for reviews for that? Well, what then? For that, here are some review questions to kind of get you started. Before you even start asking for a review, you want to ask some simple questions like, how are you liking the product? Is your campaign going well? How did your project turn out? These questions are important to ask because they're going to help you gauge your print buyer's level of satisfaction before you actually ask for the review. You don't want to assume that everything went perfect, right? You know what happens when people assume. So you want to make sure that they had a good experience. Sometimes things don't go well, even for no fault of your own, right? So just see if they're in a good place about the product or service that they received from you. Then, once you determine that a print buyer is a good candidate for review, here are some questions that you can ask. These are just some of the top 5 or the top 5 questions from SurveyMonkey, and they are these: what can Acme Printing or your company do to better serve your needs? How satisfied are you with our products and services? What value do we provide for you? What are your biggest challenges and how can we help? And why did you choose us over your competition? So the main thing here is you want to stick to open-ended questions, so that they have a chance to just speak freely to you, that you can really listen. Just last month, I was doing some research here on another project, and I asked a simple question of, what is the one thing that you need that would help you sell more printing, right? And then I could just sit and be quiet and listen. It was not the time for me to justify our products or services. It was the time to just listen and collect and really hear what our printers are saying. Of course, in that regard, I wasn't trying to collect reviews. I was just trying to really hear them out. But just listen, stick to open-ended questions. Just a side note here, or a pro tip, I guess I would say, if you're collecting open-ended questions like this and you're hoping to use them as a testimonial or a quote or that kind of thing, if you are talking over the phone or in person to person, or even if you are recording the conversation, when you go to write your piece or you write their quote or their case study or testimonial, I would check with the customer or the print buyer first before you print it or post it, and just say, this is what I heard you say, but do I have this right? This is what you were saying? Just having that integrity to go back, making sure that you got it right and they're happy with how they said it, makes a huge difference just for you and for them. So I would just remind you to do that as well. Once you have collected your reviews, you need to share them, right? That's the whole goal. And you can do that on things like social media. Here's an example from Gerald Printing. This is a great example. It's something that's not difficult. They took one quote, added a picture to it, and put it on their social media channels. These things are some of the great ones because they don't have to be complicated. They don't have to be a full interview or that kind of thing. You can If they pay you a compliment, this is where you can train your team to be on the lookout for these and just say, thanks, Bob, for that wonderful compliment. Do you mind if I just write that down and we can share that in our marketing pieces? So just train them to be on the lookout for things like that. Another place you can share them and should be sharing them is on your website, right? Here's an example of where you can be placing these on your website. So here's another one of our subscribers. This is Printworks. Under their About Us section in Testimonials, they have taken advantage of this page by adding their customer testimonials. So they have the company's logo, they have the short testimonial from them, and then they list the URL from that company. This is a great example. Those URLs, to each of those businesses, that creates additional SEO benefit for them to have those links between those businesses. It also obviously provides social proof that others are looking for. One thing I would say about this page is make sure people can find it. So for example, that Gerald Printing example on social media, maybe add a link from the review you shared on social media over to this page. That creates that connection between social media and your website to get them off social media and over to your website. Once they're on your website, if they're on your home page, you could create a link from your custom slider over to your testimonials page, or you could create a call out box. Here's what others are saying, that kind of thing. Or, need proof, ? And link over to your testimonial page. Before I go, I think it would be wise to show you where that testimonial page is. So in that same example, if you go over and you were to click under account and you went to the control center there, sorry, I gotta get over here going. So under account and over to the control center there, that takes you to the back end of the website. Now I realize for a lot of our subscribers listening here, I'm kind of preaching to the choir here, but you'd come over here to web pages, then over in that sidebar menu on the left-hand side, you would look at featured pages and you'll see the page there, testimonials. So you'll want to click on that one. You'll see the page here. You can turn the page on or off completely. It gives you the opportunity to put in an introduction paragraph. And then down at the bottom, it gives you the place where you can add testimonials and create testimonials for that page. It has some easy fill in the blank kind of, company, position, message, that type of thing that you can use. And then once you're all done, you would just go up to the upper right corner there and click save, and those testimonials will display on your page. So this is a super easy way for you to get that social proof on your website. So if you're not taking advantage of this, I would make sure that you spend some time and get a few of those testimonials on your website. So the reality is that reviews are important and they are worth spending your time on. As David Greer says, a customer talking about their experience with you is worth 10 times that which you write or say about yourself. So I hope just that quick walkthrough of why reviews are important, some examples of how to put reviews on your website is helpful for you, and that you are confident to go out and get some of those reviews. That's all I have for you this morning. Thanks for joining us for tips to help you sell more printing. Our next webinar will be Wednesday, September 9th, 2020 at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. I want to remind you that I want these webinars to cover topics that are of value to you. So if you have questions or comments or future topic requests that you'd like to see covered in this webinar, please reach out to us at 701-241-9204, or you can contact me directly at rachel.neese@mi4p.com. Thanks so much for joining me this morning, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day.